Welcome to this episode of Sitecore in 300 Seconds Plus. My name's Evan, I work as a consultant at Sitecore, and in this episode I'm going to provide a deeper insight into Sitecore Boxever and showcase how it works. If you're interested in a shorter overview, please watch my 300 Seconds episode. At Sitecore, we love having conversations with our customers around digital strategy and customer experience to reach tangible business goals like increased revenue, acquisitions, or customer satisfaction. During these conversations, we hear some common questions and problems being discussed. For example, how do I keep tailored experiences consistent across all my channels? Today, it's common for customers to interact across lots of different channels and experience inconsistency. We hear this is impacting revenue and brand perception or attrition rates, and this is something that many organizations would like to address with urgency. We also hear, how do I make smarter decisions for my customers? When we hear this, it's often related to enabling marketers with tools that let them design offers that are tailored for their customers and delivered at the right time. Next best actions, urgency messaging, and smart personalization across the channels are really common goals. We also need to be able to easily change that logic as businesses and regulations change. Another thing we hear is, how do I understand my customers more easily? In today's climate, an organization's unique first-party customer data is often considered one of its most valuable assets. Unfortunately, this valuable data is often scattered across disparate systems, making it hard to understand and impossible to act on. Today, I'll be discussing how Sitecore Boxever can help solve these problems as a single tool to activate your customer data across all your channels. Today, I'm going to begin by giving you an overview of the system as a whole and discuss the power of having all the capabilities working together. Then I'll discuss each capability in more detail with a demonstration. I'll start by detailing the Customer Data Platform, followed by the decisioning engine. Then I'll discuss how we can deliver personalized experiences and next best actions. Finally, I'll show how we can set up experimentation in all our channels. In Sitecore Boxever, 4 components work together in a single platform to ensure that marketing and business users can understand their customers and make appropriate decisions quickly and easily. This enables customer experiences across channels to be consistent and delivered in real time. Firstly, the Customer Data Platform is used to consolidate first-party customer information from all systems and touchpoints. With this, marketers can understand individual customer journeys, overarching trends, and to create segments that can be acted on. Not only does this consolidate your customer data and enable better understanding of your customers, but it also acts as a foundation for smart decisioning and personalization. And speaking of decisioning, next is Sitecore Boxever Decisioning Engine. This enables non-technical users to model business decisions with a simple drag and drop interface. Here we can use the consolidated and enriched data in the CDP with logic that enhances your customers' experiences and can help reach goals such as increased revenue or engagement. We often see next best actions and personalization logic modeled here. Now that we have the data available and the decisions modeled, we can think about how to deliver those experiences to the customer across channels. The first area Sitecore makes this possible is with the experiences capability. Here, business users and marketers can orchestrate decision logic and customer data to craft a truly tailored experience. This ensures your customers will have interactions with your brand that are consistent across all channels and delivered in real time. In addition to tailored experiences, Sitecore Boxever can enable business users to interact with visitors to quickly test and learn with experimentation. You can set up random cohorts, deliver treatments, and track performance in the same tool. Again, this is agnostic of channel, and you can leverage data from your CDP and all your previously modeled decisions. Today I'll be showcasing all these capabilities, but let's have our first glimpse at the platform now. Logging into Sitecore Boxever for the first time, a user can see a snapshot of what is currently operating. We can see how many experiences are running, how many experiments, as well as segment and decision models. Navigating to the menu on the left, we have access to customer data, experiences, experiments, and decisioning. All of this is available in one tool so we can quickly and easily use all the capabilities together. And I'll be covering each of these capabilities during this video. Now, With these four components working together, business users can make smart, data-driven decisions delivered to their customers in real time across all their channels. Firstly, with the Customer Data Platform, interactions are consumed and enriched from all systems and touchpoints in your current ecosystem. One method is in the form of real-time click streams. All behavior and interactions that your customers have through your digital and assisted channels can be captured and persisted in the CDP. This includes what people are browsing and intent they're showing across content and products. Information can also be created, read, updated, deleted in the CDP using interactive APIs. This is often information related to real-time processing of orders, guest information, subscriptions, and other detail that's important to your business. Batch capabilities allow Sitecore Boxever to ingest large amounts of slower moving data. This might be historic data or large amounts of CRM or loyalty information or imports of offline transactions. Batch is also used for reconciliation against other input methods and to integrate with legacy systems. In addition to customer data and click streams, decisions can leverage internal systems. Any service in your organization can be included in a decision. In particular, we see this as a point to enrich your decisions in real time with fast-moving data that's not necessarily related to customers, such as pricing, inventory, or risk. In decisioning, Sitecore Boxever can also take advantage of AI tools such as trained models, perhaps around attrition or propensity to purchase. This is a great way to activate the investment your organization has taken in the data science capabilities, or a great way to begin your journey into AI. Now that we have the content available and decisions modeled, we can look at how to get those experiences out to your customers across channels such as web, mobile, or call center. Sitecore Boxever includes three main methods of achieving this. Firstly is triggered messages. This enables one-to-one outbound communication to a system, often SMS, email, or a marketing cloud. This occurs when a customer performs some event in the CDP after a decision for next best offer has been evaluated. Next is sync. This is often used to send tailored offers from a decision canvas to a segment of users defined in the CDP. This is commonly sent to tools such as Marketing Cloud to perhaps populate a HTML template with unique offers. You can also use sync to enrich data into paid media and social such as Facebook to retarget or find lookalikes. The final method that is used to access experiences in Boxever is the interactive API, which is more of a pull mechanism. Any internet-enabled device such as web, mobile, kiosk, or call center can call Sitecore Boxever to retrieve detail of next best actions, offers, or A/B test experiments. Okay, we've seen how the four components of Sitecore Boxever are available to work together to allow you to understand your customer, design your business decisions, and provide tailored experiences across all your channels in real time. You can leverage your unique first-party customer data through a holistic view in a single tool to help better understand your customer journeys. Using customer insights, you can power smarter decisions that allow you to act and change as fast as your business needs. With customer data and smart decisions available, you can give your customers a consistent experience across all channels. Now that we've seen an overview of Sitecore Boxever, let's look more closely at each of the four major capabilities: Customer Data Platform, Decisioning, Experiences, and Experimentation. Firstly, let's take a closer look at the foundation, the Customer Data Platform. The Sitecore Boxever journey really begins with data, and Sitecore Boxever's CDP fuels web optimization with real-time customer insights. The CDP consolidates all collected customer data for known and anonymous visitors, allowing business users to get a deeper understanding of how interactions are taking place. In this section, I'll begin by showcasing the Customer Data Platform interface. Then we can take a closer look at how we can interrogate a customer journey in the Sitecore Boxever UI. Then I'll see how we can use this customer information to create and manage segments. When looking at the Sitecore Boxever CDP, we can see a searchable snapshot of all known and unidentified guests. This information comes from visitors who have engaged with your organization or can be synced from any external system such as your CRM. This makes sure you have a 360-degree view of all your customers. Let's click on an individual user. I'll select Jane's profile here. On the detailed dashboard, we can see an overview of Jane's behavior. Here we can see her recent activity, when she last engaged, and when she last ordered. We can also see other detail that's important to this organization. In this case, it's what Jane's total spend is, her average spend, and the total number of orders she's had. We can see the time of day she tends to be active, the type of device she prefers to use, recent orders, and the segments in which she's a member. All this information was chosen to be displayed for this organization. Other organizations will choose to tailor this screen with information that makes sense for them. For an airline, we might see flights booked. For a bank, we might see products purchased or arrears status. Looking at a user's specific timeline, we can find detail of every interaction the customer has had across all your channels. In this case, we can see that Jane has had sessions across web and email. In this session, Jane left with items in her cart that weren't purchased. So we've highlighted abandoned revenue to help us understand what happened. Clicking on this session, we can get more detail around her experience. We can see an audit trail of what she's been offered, what she added to her cart, and what personalisation was applied to her. We can also see that immediately after Jane abandoned her session, we were able to trigger an intelligent cart recovery flow in a marketing automation tool. Every page view, interaction with a kiosk or call center, and application usage can be viewed. Non-technical users can set up segments in Sitecore Boxever using flexible rules with no IT involvement. Customer data is accessible through the Sitecore Boxever interface for selection, and rules can be created to describe your unique audiences. In this example, we can see a segment of customers who have an upcoming booking. We can see that we're only targeting guests who have provided us with an email address and have booked at least one event. Here I'll add more criteria to include people who have ordered on behalf of their children. Later in this video, we will discuss how these segments can be used to power decisions and experiences across your channels. We've just seen how Sitecore Boxever's CDP allows you to use an interactive dashboard of your customers, synced with other systems in your MarTech stack, such as CRM or loyalty. The underlying schema is tailored for your specific business so you can better understand trends and behaviors that make sense to you and your organization. You can understand each of your individual customer interactions chronologically on a timeline to get insights on how to best guide them through their journey. And with a deep understanding of your customers, you can design and create segments that can be used to power targeted experiences. Now that we've looked at the CDP in Sitecore Boxever, we should understand how business and marketing users can take advantage of these insights via the decisioning engine. So we have the data available, but we need to be able to act on it. Sitecore Boxever decisioning provides data activation via easy-to-use decision modeling for targeted personalization and next best actions based on customer and system data, all in real time. Today we'll see an example of the decision canvas and its drag and drop interface from the insurance industry with techniques that are relevant to all businesses. We'll see how we can use data from the CDP to power decisions, how we can integrate artificial intelligence and other models into our decision canvas, and we'll see how a decision table can be used to build next best offers. Here is a simple example from the insurance domain that provides the next best offer for an existing customer based on guest data from the CDP and propensity to purchase a product, all set up through the drag and drop interface. This is based off the standard decision model notation, so we should start reading from the bottom of the canvas, following the nodes until we reach the decision table at the top. Having decisions out of any channel means that regardless of which channel the customer is on, we can get a consistent experience. If they're calling a call center, using a kiosk, or on their personal mobile phone, we can ensure a user will get the same offers and personalization. So starting at the bottom of the canvas, we can see three inputs coming directly from the CDP. we have sessions, guests, and orders. This is the data that's required to make the decisions. For each of these inputs, we'd like to identify a piece of information. From the session information, let's take the products that were viewed via this node. For the guest information, let's pull out the current customer's age and the products we think they would be interested in purchasing. And finally, from the order information in the CDP, let's get an understanding of the products that they have already purchased to date. We have another step here combining the product propensities and products already purchased so we can understand what they are likely to purchase, omitting anything they already have. Now we have 3 data points connected to a decision table, which will determine the next best offer. And if I open the decision table itself, we can see those 3 data points mapped to a column. We can see the last viewed products, the products that have a high propensity to purchase, and the age of the current guest. We can also see 2 output columns for the products that we should recommend next. Each of the rows in the table represents a rule that can be triggered. The first row says, if the last viewed product was house insurance, and we don't know anything about your propensity to purchase or your age, we'll recommend house insurance as a first option and mortgage insurance as a second. Looking at the fourth rule, we can see an example of when we know more about a customer. Here we're essentially saying if we have determined that you're likely to purchase car insurance and you're under 30 years old, let's offer you car insurance as a first recommendation option and travel insurance as a second. The row below says that if you have a high likelihood to purchase car insurance, but you're in your 30s or older, we'll still recommend car insurance, but as a second recommendation, we'll suggest income protection. This is an example of how we can get sophisticated data activation in a way that's easy to understand and change. If a user is comfortable using Excel, they'll be comfortable editing details in a decision table like this. Okay, I've just had an idea. I could use a model that I've trained in SageMaker to complement the decisions in this decision canvas. To do this, we can use the toolbox on the right-hand side. This shows me all of the elements I can add to the canvas to craft an appropriate data flow, simply by dragging and dropping nodes. Here I can enrich the decision with more elements from the CDP, programmable nodes, external data sources like inventory or risk, and even AI models. To include our trained model from SageMaker, I'll drag an analytical model node from the toolbox. Here we can see all the models our internal team have trained and configured for use. I'll select SageMaker and add a connection from the guest data node in the CDP. I'll let the decision table know that the output of this model can be used in the decision table by adding a connection there too. The ability to easily take advantage of external systems and AI means business users can more easily provide great tailored experiences that customers expect in a way that's easy to understand, allowing for collaboration between technical and non-technical users. We've just seen how you can use the simple drag and drop interface of Sitecore Boxever decisioning canvas to model your business decisions. This simple interface promotes collaboration between IT and business teams by providing a common interface to describe business decisions. It also allows for full transparency and auditability around why a decision was made and when, which is great for improving customer experiences, and it's essential when complying with changing laws and regulations. We also saw how you can leverage your existing AI and trained models to help align with your individual customers without increasing the capacity of the business team. We saw that decisions are evaluated in real time to make sure your customers have the right experience at the right time. Next best actions can easily be modeled to keep conversations with your customers targeted. Now that we've looked at the basic building blocks of decisioning, let's look at how we can use these decisions in experiences that engage your end user across all your channels. Okay, we have decisions modeled and first-party customer data in the CDP. Now we can start delivering experiences that have been tailored to your customers and aligned with your business. Let's look at that now. We'll see how a technical user can use no-code templates to create and publish an experience with no IT involvement. I'll be showing you how quickly we can set up and publish a web experience, but the techniques we touch on can be applied to any point in your technology stack, not just the web. We'll see how pages and audiences can be targeted in your Sitecore Boxever interface to deliver consistent experiences across all your channels. And I'll be showing how decision models, including next best actions, can be used to help guide your customers further down a sales or acquisition funnel. This is the Spin Shop responsive web app that I'll be using to showcase Sitecore Boxever experiences. It's a fictional e-commerce store that specializes in selling athletic gear. Today I'll be adding a banner to the top of the page that displays urgency messaging, notifying the current user of items they might be interested in, highlighting that these items are selling in their location. To do this, I'll begin by setting up a web experience in Sitecore Boxever interface. I'll call this web experience Spin Shop Urgency Messaging. Here we can see the interface I have for orchestrating an experience across channels. I can target audiences that I have defined in the CDP and use decisions that I have modeled in the decision canvas. Because this is a web experience, I also have access to set variants and target pages. Let's begin by setting a variant for the urgency banner. When adding my experience, I can select from templates that I have defined in my library. These are simple to set up and deploy, and Sitecore Boxever comes with many that can be used as a starting point for your personalization needs. Here we can see alert bars that appear on scroll, email capture, and other modals. I'll select one that I've set up for urgency messaging specifically. Now, as a marketer, I can see a collection of inputs that I can set to control how my banner is rendered. These are all defined in the template and help us maintain a consistent look and feel across the application, while allowing non-technical users to have the creative flexibility they need to craft your experiences. Let's preview this and see what it looks like. Looks good to me, but doesn't have that urgency messaging about what customers are looking at. Let's fix that. Back in the interface, we can start orchestrating the experience with other elements from the tool like targeting and decisions. To start with, we can target based on page details. We can do simple targeting based on page URL. We might like to only target product pages or the Contact Us section. We can also do more advanced targeting on any metadata in the page. Let's leave this for the time being and have the urgency banner appear on every page. Now, let's take a look at audience targeting. We saw how we can create a segment of users in the CDP, and here we can use those same segments to ensure that we can focus experiences appropriately. By defining an audience separately and using it in your channels, we can ensure that your visitors are having appropriate interactions. In addition to segments we have defined in the CDP, we can also target granularly, based on any other property in the CDP with a real-time audience. But for now, let's leave audience targeting and focus on decisioning. We really need to add the brains of our urgency messaging, the decision model. We've already discussed how to set up a decision model for our next best actions and personalization, and at SpinShop we have a decision model that will let us know what people are purchasing in the area that is relevant to a specific user. To add that decision model to this experience, I can select decisioning and find my urgency decision. With that selected, my experience now has access to the outcome of that model. As a marketer, I don't need to know what logic flow exists inside of that canvas, how the decision table is configured, or whether machine learning is invoked. I can just pull it in and my template will consume the output. Having your model consumable in any channel and at any point in your tech stack means your customers will always have a consistent experience with your brand, and your models can be easily reused, updated, and rolled out anywhere that they are required. So we've looked at orchestrating audiences and decision logic into our experience. Let's preview to see what that looks like. We can now see the output of the decision model in the urgency messaging. That looks great to me, so let's publish it. I'll start my experience now, and I can also schedule it to be started later. I can see now my experience has started, and I'll reload my page, and we now have a tailored urgency messaging for our customers on our live site. Now we've discussed using Sitecore Boxever to enable business and marketing users to deliver tailored experiences based on customer data and decisions. Decision models including next best actions can be orchestrated with page and audience targeting to help guide your customers further down a sales or acquisition funnel. We saw an example of how a non-technical user can use a no-code template to create and publish an experience to the web with no IT involvement. We discussed using these same principles to tailor your experiences anywhere in your technology stack, not just the web. This helps ensure your customers always get a great, consistent experience with your brand. In addition to personalized experiences and next best actions, Sitecore Boxever experimentation extends experiences to empower business users to hypothesize, test, and learn through interactions with customers to reach your business goals. Now we'll see how we can extend Sitecore Boxever experiences, targeting random groups of your population. We'll also see how we can attach goals to an experiment, and then how we can view the performance of an experiment from within the tool. Let's start by adding experimentation capabilities to the experience I created for SpinShop. I'm going to tailor web experiences again, however the same techniques I'm showcasing can be used anywhere in your technology stack in any channel. Now I'd like to see if adding some different wording drives greater engagement with my urgency messaging. So the first thing I'll do is add a new variant. I can test against different templates, but I think for this experiment it makes sense to duplicate the original one. Now I'll edit the template and update the text as I did with the original personalized experience. Currently, all the traffic is going to the control. So let's go ahead and set up an even random distribution. I can use allocations for testing and piloting of new features. Now that I have my variant set up, I'll add some goals so we can start tracking. In Sitecore Boxever, goals can be interactions that make sense as a conversion for your business. Commonly, we see average order value, increased revenue, but it can be anything from time on page, interactions with the call center, or attendance to an event. I'll select average order value as a primary goal and revenue as a secondary goal. Now I can start my experience as usual, and my experiment is live. Once my experiment has been running for a little while, I can come back and check on the results. Here we can see which variant is tracking best against the goals I set up. I can see my new variant has more conversions compared to the control, indicating that I can select that as a winner. Okay, we saw how Sitecore Boxever experimentation builds on top of experiences, enabling technical users to hypothesize and understand impacts of tests. We saw that we can add any number of experience variants and control the distribution. We can add goals so that we can track how changes perform. This is consistent across any interaction on any channel. We also saw how Sitecore Boxever provides reporting functionality within the tool to enable a frictionless learning cycle. Today we've seen how you can use the 4 components in Sitecore Boxever to activate your unique first-party customer data across all your channels. We consolidate data in the CDP, create transparent decision models, and deliver the experiences and experimentation consistently anywhere in your technology stack. Thank you for watching this episode of Sitecore in 300 seconds plus. I hope this has given you insight into how Sitecore Boxever works and what benefits it can bring to your business.